Welcome back to another episode of the OK Martini podcast. I'm Sofia and
I'm Sarah.
Yes.
What's good, friends? I'm still in Florence right now. Well, I mean, I'm leaving today, but I'm still in Florence and having the time of my life, honestly. I love you, man. No homo.
I love you too.
Full promo.
I'm so glad you came.
Me too. So, since we hadn't seen each other in a year, we figured it was best to waste an hour and a half or an hour and 45 minutes of our lives with the movie. Would you like to...
Yeah, the movie is called You Get Me, and it's a Netflix original, right? Yeah. I think so. And Bella Thorne is in it, and Nash Greer. Yeah.
Ooh!
And the fact that Bella Thorne wasn't bad enough. They also casted Nash Greer. Which is great.
Yeah. Warning, there will be spoiler alerts. If you're a fan of this movie, I don't know why you're watching this, because we're not going to be saying anything positive about this. If you're a Bella Thorne fan, maybe stick around so you will no longer be a Bella Thorne fan.
If you're a Bella Thorne fan, get help. Sorry, okay.
Stop it.
No, she's right.
Get help.
Stop that.
Stop that.
Knock it off. Okay, so the
plot of the movie is this guy, Tyler, played by whoever the fuck this guy is. He kind of looks like a discount KJ Apa, to be honest. Like, in a weird way. He looks like a 30-year-old KJ Apa.
The actor's name is Taylor John Smith. I don't know who he is. So.
Anyways. Okay, so this guy, Tyler, he has this girlfriend, Allie, oddly enough named after my brother. Well, Allison. My brother's name isn't Allison. Don't whitewash him. And basically, after a one-night stand with Bella Thorne, who's Holly, if I'm not wrong, he realizes that this bitch crazy. Not Bella Thorne, the character, funnily enough. And the entire movie is just kind of based on that. And, I don't even know where to begin. So I think the best way is just to break this down chronologically, because we just watched it last night, so it's fairly fresh. And it was so bad, I feel like it will remain fresh for quite a while.
Yeah.
So my first point that I actually had about this movie is one of the production companies was called Awesomeness Films. Like,
yeah. That
was point number one that pointed to, hey, this movie is just gonna be like fucking Generation Z trash. Not like, I'm not calling Generation Z, but like, you know what I mean when I say that. Like this weird, like, oh, we're 14, but we think we're 8. Well, we have the same thing. I mean, every generation had this, but it's kind of like done to like a dumb point. Like it's made for a dumb audience.
Like we didn't even know what age these people were until they mentioned it.
Yeah, until
the character was like, I'm 17, I live with my mom. I was like, oh.
Yeah, and like a lot of the dialogue was clunky exposition. Like some parts of it, I will be honest, like, okay, this is more like general, so I'll save that for last. So we'll break it down. So the story begins by showing us Tyler and his girlfriend and Nash Greer at the beach. I don't remember Nash Greer's character's name, so I'm just gonna call him Nash Greer.
Gil.
Or
Jill. I don't know.
Gil. It was Gil. And yeah, so I don't really understand what Gil's purpose in this movie is, because I think he literally only gets like a total of like 15 minutes of screen time in a one and a half hour movie, and I think he also gets like main billing with the rest of the characters.
Probably.
I think he does, and that's really weird to me. Anyway, so this guy, he fucking goes, oh, we also wrote socks, whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean.
Oh, because, okay, this guy's sock was like had holes in it and shit, and they had to show that.
Oh, yeah, he walks into his girlfriend's house, he takes off his shoes, and they do this, like, weird close-up shot with a hole in his sock. Now, I feel like maybe they wanted to be like, hey, like...
He's poor.
But you could have done that without it being, like, close-up. Like, the close-up ruined it,
like, are you Quentin Tarantino? Like...
No, but even, like, Quentin Tarantino wouldn't do, like, a cheap shot like that to establish character.
Yeah.
Like, he would do, like, something like that in terms of, like, maybe the mise-en-scene for you to understand, to pay attention.
Yeah, but there was
they're directing your attention, you know? And that's something I hate in these kinds of movies. Like, the shots are done. Like, I understand that you're, like, filmmaking is you seeing stuff, but it's not just, like, pushing the audience's face around. It's, like, pushing their head around. They need to pay attention.
Yeah.
If they did that in, like, a wide-angle shot, it wouldn't be as noticeable, but you would still be like, oh, his sock has a hole in it.
It's almost like they know that the audience are not the brightest.
Exactly. Like, they need things pointed out to them.
They need to be like, look, we want you to look at this specifically.
And they hit you over the head with the same thing throughout. Like, if you remove the repetition from this movie, I feel like it could really end in, like, 30 minutes.
For sure, yeah.
Well, like, if you remove the repetition and the cliches, it would finish in, like, 20 minutes.
Pretty much.
So, and then, I have this one line, which is one of, we're also going to be delving into the world of cliches. I've quoted this. She's got you tamed, dude.
Yeah, and this was a response by Nash Greer to the main character, because he said he did yoga with his girlfriend.
Yeah, with his girlfriend.
Because he was interested in a hobby that she has.
She's interested. Yeah, and he wasn't reluctant. Like, he said, let's go. Like, they showed, like, this was, like, right after the sock shot. So we've established, like, his girlfriend's, like, you know, pretty wealthy, and, like, they're really sweet together, and then he goes and does yoga with her. A normal activity, I'd even say, to do. And look at Nash Greer's like, oh, bro, you got her tamed. When all we've learned about this guy so far in the introduction of this is that he enjoys surfing. He's got, like, a well-put-together life, even, like, the lack of, like, other, like, responsible adults in his life. Like, he's well-put-together. Mm-hmm. So, if anything, I would say this guy is pretty tamed, in general.
Yeah.
Because, like, he's waiting to have sex with his girlfriend as well, which is apparently a very important point in this movie.
So important.
Which we will understand for the dumbest reasons. And then they introduce, like, characters that just have no relevance at all. Like, that guy Chase at the party.
He was just there for 10 minutes, just at the party, just for
exposition, just to get the climax of the movie going.
Just to let Tyler know that...
I think his character name was Plot Device, to be honest.
Chase? Like...
No, like, Plot Device. Like, that's the only purpose he was there for. Like, his character was a plot device.
Yeah.
Not like... What was it saying?
Yeah.
You just looked really concerned.
No, I got it.
But yeah,
his character was just there.
His character was there. He served no purpose whatsoever.
Also to, like, tell the audience, like, yo, like, Allie was, like...
wild.
Allie was wild, bro. Like...
Oh, I also have this quote. Sucks like a champ.
Yeah, that's what he said.
And he was, like, on fuego and shit. And he was just saying weird things, and this guy was getting aggravated, and he got annoyed because he was like, oh shit, Allie's been sucking all this dick, popping all this Molly.
And not mine.
And not mine. And we haven't been popping Molly together either. So he gets pissed. Instead of talking to his girlfriend, he goes to piss. Like a normal person. Yeah. He goes to piss, and what a way to introduce Bella Thorne's character. This guy needs to piss. This girl needs to piss. They're waiting to go piss. And they start talking. And they have, like, the weirdest interaction, I would say. Like, they have this, like, weird, like, interaction and, like, look at each other. She does her...
like, flirty...
lip sort of biting...
90% of the movie.
Literally, 90% of her acting was just her biting the movie and looking at the camera and, like,
biting the movie. Biting her lip.
Biting the movie. She was biting the movie, but... Yeah.
But yeah, so we're introduced to Bella Thorne next to the bathroom where she belongs.
Yeah. And basically, so he goes back to the party, somehow gets wasted, and he's just sitting around, and his girlfriend comes up to him, and he's like, oh my god, Tyler, where were you? And he's like, and he starts, like, bullshitting, like, oh, you've been sucking dick, you've been popping Molly, you haven't been sucking my dick. We're paraphrasing, by the way.
Yeah.
He didn't say this, but, like, this was pretty much what it felt like. And mind you, this guy has had the same facial expression from the second we were introduced to him in the movie. He always, like, his eyebrows are on different wavelengths. Like, we don't even know. That's, like, a separate thing, but his acting was very monotone. And then he gets pissed off, and the girl gets upset because he's insulting her, which I really don't blame her.
She was the only redeeming character.
She was honestly the only good character. The only character I sided with, because, like, you know, it was really dumb, because, like, that Chase guy, who was, like, one of her exes, one of the dicks she sucked or whatever, he was saying that she was a super party girl, that she would even, like, be sent to rehab, and, like, and it was so weird. Like, I didn't appreciate that part, because it was just, like, something that was a little extra. Like, I think just saying, like, oh, she sucked dick and did all this shit was enough. Because he didn't care about the fact that she used to do drugs. He was like, oh, I just sucking my dick.
Yeah, like, so you're not gonna have sex with me, but you're gonna have sex with this
and
asshole?
Like, and you're not gonna say, hey, apparently you were a druggie? Like, that's what I'd be concerned about.
Yeah, I'd be like, are you okay? Like, how are you recovering from this?
Yeah, like, I wouldn't just be like, oh, you suck my dick, you know, lick my balls, stick your finger in my ass, you know, that kind of shit.
Suck it like a champ, bro.
Suck it like a champ, like he did. Oh, we also wrote about Bella Thorne's laugh. Because...
Yeah, her laugh is a bit weird.
But anyway, so this happens, and he gets upset, he goes outside. Bella Thorne's just sitting in this, like, fancy-ass car, texting. Like, and presumably she's been there for a while.
Yeah, sitting right in front of the
right in front of the house, the front door, in the car, and she's texting. She looks up, she sees this Tyler guy, who she had, like, a brief interaction with. And, like, that was, like, a busy-ass party.
Oh, yeah, like, she told him, like, someone stood me up. And he's like, who would stand you up? You're so, like...
And he was like, I just got dumped. And she was like, who would dump you?
No, it was before he said, I got humiliated. Which
I got humiliated.
Didn't, by the way.
Yeah, he humiliated.
He humiliated
himself. But he, like, humiliated the girl. And, like, almost started a fight with this guy when he could have just, like, let it go. Like, he was... And, like, using the excuse, oh, he was upset. Oh, like, this shit doesn't really happen in real life. This is movie shit. Like, I understand movies are escapism, and this is something that I agree with. Like, movies don't have to be 100% true to reality, but they need some reality.
Yeah.
I was gonna say realisticity.
I've never met, like, a guy come up to another guy who knows he's dating the girl that, he had sex with or whatever the fuck, and tell him, like, dude, like, she sucks it like a champ. But you know that, right?
Who would do that?
No one does. Like, I've never seen a person do that.
Like, even if you want to
Not even the biggest douchebag would do that.
But even to aggravate someone, I've never seen, like, anyone just, like, do that. Like, that's so weird. But either way, so they get in the car, and he's like, nice ride. And she's like, it's not mine. And he laughs. If someone said that to me, some strange chick at a party said that to me, I would probably be like, oh, can you just drop me off?
Like, theft, bro. Nice.
Theft, bro. And he laughs. What happened?
I thought it wasn't, like, plugged in.
No, it's plugged in. It's blue.
Right.
Don't worry. Sophie just, like, very dramatically reached over for the microphone as if it was, like, the fucking ring from Lord of the Rings. My precious.
I thought it wasn't plugged in.
My precious.
I got worried for a second.
Yeah, that happens to me a lot, too. Sometimes I feel like, shit, what if I'm not recording? Are we recording?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And yeah, so then there's this, like, weird montage of them driving, and then they go to a club, and there's really weird dancing. They start making out. He pulls his head back, and she's put, like, a pill in her mouth, which we're gonna just call Molly, because I don't know, like, what
I don't know what pills Bella Thorne takes.
Like, vitamin D.
Bro.
Vitamin D. And yeah, and he looks at her, and he's like, oh, I don't know. And she's like, if you swallow, I swallow. So this
super sexy, by the way. Like,
this virgin, because, honestly, who just... So this fucking virgin is like, oh yeah, I'll pop some Molly.
We're just virgin shaming.
We're not virgin shaming. We're this guy virgin shaming. Virginissimo. We won't talk about that. But anywho, and then they go to the bathroom of the club, which is usually the most disgusting place on earth.
Even when I want to, okay, I don't go to clubs regularly, but even when I want to pee in a club, the last thing I do is go to the fucking club bathroom. I'm sorry. I'll run home if I need to. Like, or I'll go to a nearby bar because the bathrooms are disgusting.
Awful. Like, I'm yet to find a club with, like,
a decent
bathroom.
Like,
so, like, they go in here, and she just starts sucking his dick. And then there's this other weird montage, and all of a sudden he wakes up. By the way, totally fine. You'd think someone trying, like, Molly and having drank a lot the entire night would get, like, a massive hangover. He wakes up totally fine in this huge-ass house, wears his jeans, and starts exploring.
Like, wouldn't you, if you woke up in a random house, like, after you met a girl you don't fucking know...
And you did drugs, wouldn't you be, like, a little worried and be like, okay, I wasn't thinking maybe I should leave?
Yeah, like, I would probably put my clothes on, like, real fast, and, like, first of all, call, like, my mom or something. Like, if I'm
call, like, an adult
17-year-old, like, you know... And, like, get out of the fucking house. No, he literally goes out of the fucking bedroom with his shirt off, walks around the fucking backyard or whatever. Yeah. Like, what are you doing, dude? For all you know, this is not even her house. She stole a car, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And then he sees Bella Thorne just sitting by this fireplace, and she's like, "You found me."
Yeah, she's, like, spreading, like, her photos and shit.
Yeah, her photos, not her legs. Yeah. Don't get excited, guys. And he sees her, and he's, like, looking around, like, astonished at the view.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And she's like, yeah, crazy, right? This isn't even my place, or something like that. And he's, like, totally chill with it, and he just stares at her. She's like, I'm house sitting.
Yeah.
And then they're walking around, and she's like, oh, why don't we have some champagne? Mm-hmm. And he's like, isn't that against the law? And she was like, well, I broke in. Isn't that against the law? And she laughs and runs off, and him, horny virgin, runs after her.
Like, wouldn't you be like, oh shit, we're literally committing a crime right now. You broke into this fucking house.
I mean, sorry, I'm a fat ass. I'm eating an Oreo. But even if, like, you thought even if she was joking, you don't know her that well to know if she's not joking or not. For anything. She gave you drugs, like, you know? And it's like, she told you the car isn't hers, and, like, you come here. Anyways, it's weird. And we're supposed to have this, like, thing about her character that she likes photography, which is, in my opinion, really irrelevant.
It was random.
As an excuse for Allie to later see pictures of him. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
But that's, like, the only thing.
It was a bit random, like, we're supposed to see her this artsy, like...
Yeah, but it was so irrelevant to her character because it didn't make sense at all in the movie. Like, it was just like, I like taking photos. Oh, and, I love Tumblr. That's where most of my inspirations come from. Quote from the film. Anyway, so she goes on to this, like, yeah, my parents don't care, my stepmom. Oh, turns out it was her house because there was a fucking picture of her parents there. So, I don't know what she was saying. She was like, oh, my stepmother, she's not around, I don't know, Paris, London, like, the whole typical my parents don't care. And they have this heart-to-heart where he's like, yeah, like, my mom's barely around, it's just, like, me and my little sister. So, like, in a way, I understand that for Bella Thorne, because it's, like, trying to make it...
Yeah, personal.
More personal, and you can say, like, oh, like, you have these, like, two different people who are, like, having so, like... You know, it doesn't seem like one of those, like, one-night stand things. Where it's like, they wanted to make it like an emotional connection to make it in the movie like seem like, oh, he's torn and he can't pick, where it's like evident that Allie was the one for him, that's who he wanted anyways, like.
Exactly.
So yeah, and
what else?
So she says something about like, oh, what if I transfer to your school? And like, he goes to school. Guess who's transferred?
Fucking Bella Thorne.
Bella Thorne.
Surprise, bitch.
Bella Thorne is transferred, and we also meet, like, her character's mom. Her stepmom, actually. Who seems like a nice woman. Like, she cares. She's like, are you taking your meds? You missed your psychiatry appointments. But because of her job, she can't stay.
But you know what's funny?
Yeah.
It's like, it's her stepmom, but they have the same hair. You know what I mean? Like, they have the same ginger hair. And at first I was like, that's a bit like it's
They
normal,
look like
but
they
it's
could
like
be
they
related.
look they look like it's
honestly
her
look like they
actual
could be,
mom.
like, related.
That's what's also weird. Like, did they purposely cast someone who has like similar hair color
Yeah, that's
and
really
similar
odd.
features? Like, even but it's like it's her stepmom. She could be blonde or like
yeah, no,
whatever.
they weirdly look related
Yeah.
to like the point where it's like not believable that she's her stepmom.
Yeah.
And that's like, which is like a dumb
reason to like
it's a dumb point, but that's the whole purpose. Like, why would you have that in?
Exactly. Like,
Anyways,
why
weird
would she
things
look like
happen
that?
in the high school, and like, you know, she's kind of playing games with them, and then they're all hanging out. They become friends. Sophie's just choking. They're just like playing, like they're having fun, and then they're looking at pictures Allie's taken, and there is a shirtless picture of Tyler, and I don't know how to describe this scene because Allie does not recognize her boyfriend's torso.
Like, I know they haven't had sex, but come on.
But also, you see so many sports trophies on his table, like around him and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's probably seen him like shirtless at one point or
Exactly.
another.
Also, like, he literally walked shirtless around in a house he doesn't even know. Like, I'm sure he takes his shirt off like fucking often.
But yeah, and weird things happen. This one girl like says something about Holly. She's like, oh yeah, like she's like no online presence or whatever. Holly overhears and she poisons her smoothie.
Yeah, like she like the girl was allergic to something and she like puts that in her drink or whatever, and the girl like has a fucking stroke.
But also, what's weird to me is that they didn't investigate the reason she got that allergic reaction, because she didn't have anything she had. So like, in terms of like a medical perspective, when someone comes in with an allergic reaction to something, the first thing you need to do is you need to go back and try and find what they were exposed to and take samples of it and see like what she was allergic to. Even if you identify the compound, if she says she hadn't had anything, like, for example, she says I have a peanut allergy, and she says I have not had any contact with peanut, but then I had the smoothie and I had an anaphylactic shock, would they not go check the smoothie?
Exactly.
Even if they cleaned up the smoothie, they would go say, hey, this chick got the smoothie. And then to the point which we're later introduced in the movie is that this girl has a criminal record and a psychiatric record. They would not be like, it makes sense now because you have this record. We'll investigate you.
Why didn't they fucking... And
so that's like law enforcement fucking up, point one. And then later, like, she starts showing up at, like, Tyler's house, and she, like, become BFFs with, like, Allie, just, like, to fuck with Tyler.
And Tyler's sister, like, young sister?
Yeah, like, she meets up with his, like, little sister, and, like, she's bonding, and she's like, I'll tell you a secret. I've always wanted a little sister. And it's just weird, and...
Like, are you gonna kidnap me, bro? Like, don't do that. Please.
So anyway, so that makes Tyler really uneasy, which I don't blame because he does not know how she got her address. And nowhere in the movie are we shown to her getting the address, which is also, like, interesting. Like, I like that because we...
At least they didn't show that.
Yeah, like, one thing I like is that they don't show her process.
Yeah.
You know? Like, they don't show her doing things. But that also, to me, feels really cheap.
Because it
goes out of the way to show that she's doing this stuff. They're going out of their way to show that she's doing this stuff quite suspiciously at that. Like, they make it seem suspicious on camera as well. Not like for you to be like, oh, she's shady.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Like, maybe they don't show the process because they're like, how is she...
I don't think they think it through. They're just like, oh, we'll just make Bella Thorne look into the camera blankly while biting her lip.
Yeah.
And people will know that she's up to stuff. She's up for no good. Let them imagine what she's doing. Like, if you're gonna go to lengths to show every character's every single move, like, almost narrated.
Yeah.
Because, like, everything they do is narrated by their dialogue.
Yeah, exactly. So they didn't put, like, the how she got to this point kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
So obviously, like, you show the fucking ripped sock so obviously, but you're not gonna, like... I mean, I guess it's a good thing, like...
Yeah, it's good to keep the mystery around it, but, like, then you also break the entire mystery by letting us know that she's doing all this shit.
Yeah.
Rather than not showing her doing this shit, like, showing her being around when certain shit happens, and you would think to yourself, oh, maybe it was her.
like,
I can't think of why it could be her. But this is like, oh, we know she poisoned the Slurpee.
like when she brought out the drinks, there was a focus on the drinks,
and
like,
there was dramatic music in the background too.
Like, they're literally like, they think their audience is stupid. They're like, look at these drinks. Look how that girl is sipping it.
Even if they didn't think their audience was dumb, like as a writer, as a filmmaker, would you not think to yourself,
this is very
this
obvious.
is really hit on the head? Like, you know that this is like the target audience that you're like aiming it for. But even that, without the dramatic music, you know that like shit's about to go down because of that close up of her bringing them the drinks.
And when we were watching it, you were like, oh, it's gonna be something in a drink, right?
Definitely, like that was the only way, like with the weird music and everything. And this girl gets like an anaphylactic shock. She starts bleeding from her nose. They call an ambulance, and they go with her. And fucking, it's just like that. No one else is suspicious except for the girl who got poisoned, because she was already suspicious, and Tyler. It's like everyone else is like, no.
Okay, the only thing I don't like about Allie's character is she was so oblivious until the end.
Yeah, and that was kind of a forced oblivion.
Yeah.
Some parts I understood, like, you know, when she was like, oh, like, she lied to her about being pregnant with this guy, you know, over the summer, and that kind of stuff, and Allie was like, oh, I need to be there with her, Tyler, I can't, this isn't a good time. Like, that kind of oblivious is like, oh, she doesn't want to second guess her. She wants to be a good person.
Yeah. Okay, that I get.
And that was really good. Like, that really showed Allie's character. Because, like, Allie was almost, like, a mess and, like, wild and shit. But now she's like,
caring.
tamed. Yeah. And she's caring in that. And that's, like, really good. Like, it shows character development just through that one clunky piece of exposition. That's how you develop a character in this kind of shitty movie. Yeah. You know, because you get the clunky exposition, but then everything else is you see by how she acts. You know?
Yeah. Like, that's the thing, like, it's, they do some good, like, there's some parts of it that are pretty good, like, they're not bad, because they, like, do this, like, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, like, certain parts are
because,
smart.
Like, yeah, but because, like, there's so many more parts that are shit, you're kind of like, this is shit.
That relate to those good parts, that you're just like, it ruins it for you. It just completely ruins it for you. And then, like, after things get weird, like, Bella Thorne shows up at the guy Tyler's house again, after, like, anyway, so her and Nash Greer are now a thing, and seeing Bella Thorne and Nash Greer make out was something I never really wanted to see.
Especially because Nash Greer looks 15 and she looks 25. He looks
15 and she looks fucking,
So that was weird.
And then they have this, like, weird thing, like, girl talk or whatever, like, girl talk.
So they're all, like, in the car, and then Bella Thorne can get herself off of Nash Greer, apparently.
Yeah, they're still, like, they're playing tonsil tennis.
Yeah. And then Allie's like, you ready? Like, Holly, you ready? And she's like, okay, we're gonna have some girl time or whatever. And then she goes outside, and then
Tyler freaks out. He was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, like, you know, she's just gonna come over, we're gonna just hang out, have some girl talk.
Yeah.
Bella Thorne, like, runs back to Tyler with Nash Greer in the car and says, girl talk, like, in a creepy way, in an obviously creepy way. There was no, like, additional music. Nash Greer just totally, like,
we didn't hear that.
The blood from his brain shot up to his, like, micro dick.
Exactly, like, he completely forgot, like, all creepiness because he made out with this chick, like, she was like,
and then fucking Tyler tells Nash Greer, like, dude, me and her, we had a one night stand, I think, you know, she's just, like, trying to fuck with me. And he's like, oh, he's trying to fuck with you? Why is she making out with me then? Or something like that.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, so she hooked up with me just to fuck with you. She's friends with Allie just to fuck with you. Like, you're so special, Tyler. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's the thing. It's like, does that not make any sense to you? Like, you're the only person she's known in this school that she's transferred to, and she is fucking with you. And he's like, no, she doesn't. Look at me. I'm so sexy.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, so she's just hooking up with me just to fuck with you? Yeah, right. Nice one, bro.
Like, doesn't that make sense to you when you say it out loud?
Exactly. It's like, okay, actually, why would anyone make up?
So then, like, weird things happen. She says she's pregnant, and it's this random guy's child. Like, she says it's Tyler's child, and she tells Allie about it, and then she goes to Tyler. And then Tyler, like, pushes her, and she has a small fall. And then somehow she shows up at Allie's house. Like, her hands look like she was, like, masturbating sandpaper. Like, her hands looked destroyed. She was like, oh, I went to his house. He pushed me to the ground. Whatever. And then, Tyler, like, wants to tell Allie finally that, hey, this bitch is doing all this stuff. And he's like, oh, I know, she told me everything. And he's like, no, you don't understand, it's not like that. And she gets upset, whatever. And then at school, like, he's at school, and then he gets, like, Holly, like, Bella Thorne walks into the class, and then Tyler is, like, called in by the principal and the police officer saying that there has been a police report, like, filed because of harassment against you. Like, you've harassed someone, so you're expelled. They indefinitely expelled him from this high school. Because
a fucking crazy person, like...
Bella Thorne lied.
Yeah, like, wouldn't they, like we said before, wouldn't they look her fucking name up?
Exactly, like, because, like, Tyler goes home that day. Oh, and then don't get me fucking started on this, like, nonsense. Like, this is the number one plot hole. So, Tyler meets, like, oh yeah, the principal says Elizabeth Holly Viola, and he's like, who?
Yeah.
She's like, Elizabeth Holly Viola, and he realizes Elizabeth's first name.
And Holly is...
Like, is her first name, and Holly is her middle name, and she's going by Holly now that she's here. So he does a beautiful job of Googling her, which ends up looking like she has a fucking Wikipedia article.
But also, can I just say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't, like... I thought about this, but it didn't, like, hit me, but this person wrote, like... How does she go by Holly, like, to everyone in the school, but the teachers call her Elizabeth, right? Like, that's her freaking first name.
Yeah.
How did no one notice that people call, like, the teacher's calling her Elizabeth, but everyone's like, oh, yeah, Holly, right? And it's like, no. Like, okay, Elizabeth, that's... You know what I mean?
think, like, first they were like, oh, we have a new student, Elizabeth Viola. I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
Exactly, like...
And no one was like,
And I think that's why, like, Tyler in that scene, he didn't really realize, like, he was like, oh, whatever, until she sat next to him, and he was like, oh, she's in my class.
Oh.
Or something like that. I don't know. I don't know if they actually said
it. He was like, Holly, what are you doing here? Because he knew her as Holly.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's like a dumb thing. But then also, that means that the school and the authorities know that her name as Elizabeth Viola.
Why
would they not look at her record? The moment this police look her up, she would be on their record. Exactly. For, like, assaulting and harassing, like, 2 students.
Also, like, okay, what she said, like, about the assault, like, it's alleged. Like, how do they know? Like, do they have evidence?
It's alleged.
Like, whatever happened on her hands or whatever, like, she could have said anyone's name. I could have been like, yeah.
Yeah, you need to, like investigate
Tom
stuff like
did
this.
that, you know what I mean? Like
and
she has, like, you're expelled, bro.
She has, like, no witnesses at all. And, like, she has all this incriminating stuff against her.
Yeah. Why would you believe
this guy, he looks her up, and he finds, like, all these articles. And Holly Bella Thorne messages him. And he's like, I know who you are, Elizabeth, and sends her a link to the article.
Not to his fucking girlfriend.
Yes, it gets even better, because he messages his girlfriend, and he's like, hey, call me. Instead of just sending the article!
Like, to show, like...
Call me, we need to talk!
Like, look, she's lied about other things, she's done other things before. Maybe, like, she's lying about me as well.
She's lying about this, too, like, she's doing this, she's, like, crazy like this, etc., etc. You know? And that's, like, that's so dumb to me. That doesn't make it... He links the article to the girl the article is about.
Yeah, why would you let, like... Like, if you knew, like, a fucking serial killer or whatever, but, like, you know, and you just knew, like, their record or whatever, but they don't know that you know. Why the fuck would you be like, I know you're a serial killer? Like, they will kill you, dude. What are you doing? You're too fucking stupid.
And then, so she kidnaps Allison, she does this, like, weird ritual thing that's never explained. Like, she has all these candles, and, like... It's just weird close-ups of her hand, and they're kind of... I don't know what it's supposed to be.
And then she burned, like, Allie's face from the photo or whatever. Like, there was, like, a photo of her and Tyler. Like,
it was weird. It didn't really make any sense. Like, I mean, I understand. Like, they very clearly established that she has mental problems when the mom was like, oh, are you taking your meds? Yeah. You haven't seen your psychologist. It's like, okay, we've understood. But they have
to drive it, like, they have to, like, do the most.
Like, look, she's insane. And then also, this is, like, one really this part like really pisses me off as someone who's like on medication.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like a big deal. It's like, any sort of like when you have a cold, you need to take meds until you get better, which is like the same thing for like mental illness and stuff. Of course, some things like, anyways, whatever. She's like, you haven't been taking your medication either, have you? And she's like, no, I told you, they numb me emotionally. Like, okay, I understand, like, certain medication. Like, I'm assuming that she was on antipsychotics, and antipsychotics are, like, heavy sedatives. And, like, the mom just says, well, maybe that's a good thing, or something like that. Or, like...
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, we've sort of established that this lady cares about her daughter. Like, she's always busy and stuff, and, like, she cares about what she thinks. And, like, even though, like, the girl's dad died and the dad left everything to the mom and not the daughter, she's taking care of the girl. She's, like, spending money on, like, doctors and specialists and, like, good schools to, like,
like, she doesn't have to do that. Like, she does,
and she's like, you don't understand, I love you too. And, like, we get this, that she's a good character, but then, in regards to the emotional issue, maybe it's a good thing.
Like, I think they, like, because the audience, like, we got the impression that she's a good person, but I think they were trying to make her a bitch. Like,
yeah, like in that one scene, just be like, oh, she doesn't, like, or something
she doesn't
like
understand,
that.
Like, Holly.
That didn't make any sense. Or, like, maybe to them, they thought, like, hey, this is a good idea? I don't know, because, like, I mean, I think the most supportive thing that anyone says, like, in regard to, like, being on, like, medication for, like, mental health and stuff, is, like, oh, you'll only need them for a while, or it's, like, only temporary until you feel better. You don't say... Maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's like me saying, oh, Sophie, I don't like my meds. They give me diarrhea.
Maybe that's a good thing. Like, why would you say that?
Like, why would you say that? You'd say, oh, shit, man, that sucks.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Like, you wouldn't be like, maybe that's a good thing. Like, I think they just...
Also, why would I take diarrhea medication and complain that it gives me diarrhea? What the fuck?
But also, like, why... Like, I think they just tried to, like... Because they're like, oh no, shit, like, this character is too good, portrayed to be too good, let's make her a bitch.
Let's make her a bitch. Everyone needs to have their faults. Nash Greer's fault was just being Nash Greer, actually.
Oh my god. But, yeah, at least we didn't see him for that much.
Anyway, so, Bella Thorne kills her mom, tries to kill Allie. She ties a noose, so we assume Allie's gonna be hung. Like my last boyfriend. I'm joking. So, we think Allie's gonna be hung. Yeah. But, the next thing we see is Allie, with the noose around her waist, just suspended from the ceiling. Now, ignoring the point of how the fuck did Bella Thorne hang her from the center of the ceiling? Like, there was no part that was, like, close to anywhere for me to say she grabbed onto this and did that. Hung from the center of the ceiling, by the waist, and a little scratch on her head that for some reason is dripping blood. And Tyler's like, where is Allie? Where is Allie? And she wasn't dripping blood before. She starts dripping blood when Tyler's under her. Talk about fucking coincidence.
Like, conveniently.
Conveniently.
It falls on his face and he's like,
Allie? And he looks up and she's just hanging from above. So... Somehow, I can't remember exactly, he gets her down. We don't actually see how he gets her down. Do we? We just see her brought down.
Yeah.
So,
something like that.
He brings her down, and is like, no, at this moment, he's not like, shit, I know this girl is definitely dangerous, let me call the fucking police.
No one calls the police. Like, even, okay, the stepmom, I get it. Like, when she came, she saw Allie. I get it, maybe she didn't want
Oh, yeah, the stepmom came.
Yeah.
Saw Allie, tried to open her, tried to free her.
Yeah.
And Bella Thorne killed her. But, like, the stepmom, when you come, you see that.
Yeah.
Before thinking, you need to take out your phone and dial 911.
But I was thinking, alright, for, like, the stepmom, I'm like, okay, maybe she doesn't want her to get in trouble again.
Yeah.
So maybe, like, she's like, okay, I'll just fix this myself, blah, blah, whatever. Stupid, but okay. But the guy, Tyler, like, come on, he was on the way to her house, you could have called 911 then, you know she has Allie, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
Yeah, he called her, and he was like... And then he told Nash Greer... And Nash Greer didn't fucking think to call the fucking police.
And then Nash Greer...
No one called the fucking police. So somehow Bella Thorne ends up with like a fucking gun. They're running away. She's up with the gun. She's holding the gun to like this Tyler guy. Meanwhile, no one still called the police, okay? No one! They've had so many opportunities. When they were running away from her shoot, they could have been calling the police.
Dude, no, the fact that like, Tyler, he was driving to her house, he knows she has Allie. Why didn't you call the police then?
And say hello. Like,
yeah.
What he did was he called Nash Greer and said, meet me at this address.
Why would you call this twink? Like, I'm sorry, but what will Nash Greer do? How will he help you, bro? Like,
he'll pose for a picture. I don't know. He'll make out with Bella Thorne.
Like, he's like a skinny ass, like, what are you, like...
Twink.
What is he,
We're
like...
not twink shaming. We love you, twinks.
But, like, just, like, out of all people, you call Nash Greer, like...
Yeah, in this case of an emergency, like, if anything, he's the buff one. He's the one who can, like, beat the guy up, not Nash Greer. What's he gonna do?
Or,
just, like fart?
Like, call someone's parents,
or
an
and
adult.
this movie had the fart joke.
Yeah,
that was the highlight.
But, yeah...
No one's fucking calling the police. And
or any adult, like, call a fucking adult.
Call your mom!
Yeah.
Tell Nash Greer to call his mom.
Tell Nash Greer to call his fucking dad or something, like, you know, like...
Literally. So then, like... Or, like, call, like, Allie's parents.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so then, she shoots Tyler in the shoulder. Tyler falls down. And, like, Bella Thorne, for some reason... Oh, she tries to shoot Nash Greer, but she misses, unfortunately. And then, what's her name? Allie picks up this, like, fire rod stick, like, sharp, stabs her in the side, and I'm assuming that she did that. She probably, like, hit an organ or something, because the moment that happened, and she pulled it out, Bella Thorne was, like, you could tell that, like, well, she looked like she just lost a lot of blood in that moment. But she hadn't that much. But anyways,
she fell into the...
But, like, she fainted into the pool.
Yeah.
Which means that she fell unconscious. Now, that's when we started hearing ambulances coming. So when they pull her out of the, like... So
okay, first of all, when did they call the fucking ambulance?
Yeah, when did the police, like, show up? Who called the police?
Who called the police?
The neighbors.
Greer, maybe?
Like, the neighbors? Like, did they not hear screaming in that house? Like... Anyway, so then there's, like... So then, like, the police come and, like, whatever, and then we find out that, like, there's this weird scene of, like, Bella Thorne
in the
ambulance. First of all, with dry hair. And she's totally conscious, even though she fainted, into the pool.
Continuity, man.
Yeah, and, like, when you're in the pool and you're, like, unconscious, like, you won't be able to breathe. Like, you'll start drowning without realizing it, or until you realize it, I guess. But, like... You know, so, like, what, with, like, without, like, the ability to get, so somehow, she's totally perfectly conscious.
Yeah.
Not even, like, oh, like, her heart stopped or her breathing stopped, like, we need to do something. Like, it just shows her totally okay. And she hits on this, like, paramedic
conscious enough to hit on the guy in the ambulance and tell him to stay and to promise that he won't leave her.
Yeah, he's like, oh, promise
suggesting...
me?
That,
okay, first of all, I hope it doesn't mean a sequel, because, like, the ending of it seemed really like, oh, this has ended.
Yeah.
But also, they know this chick's... You look her up. Even you look up her medical records, you get access to her psychiatric records.
Of course. Like,
because she was admitted. Like, how would you... Why would... See, okay, so this is, like, the biggest plot hole in this movie. Like, they wanted her to be this, like, mysterious, like, mentally ill, like... You know, insane, like, whatever, but it's like, dude. And I feel like the whole purpose of that was just to kind of, like, romanticize her more, because she says to her mom, she's like, I'm someone who craves love, and when I don't get it, and she takes this big-ass steak, like, bread knife, and then she starts eating French toast to, like, threaten her mom, like,
wow.
But yeah, that was...
Like, her stepmom didn't deserve to be... to
yeah,
die.
her mom did not... Her stepmom did not deserve... Like, she was also a good character that I liked. Like, it was nice to have that, like... Because she lied, like, about her, like...
she
you know, she doesn't care.
She's spending all my dad's money, like...
Yeah, when she was saying, like... her dad died recently. It's been really hard on us. And that just shows that she cares about her. She's like, everything I have is what you have.
Yeah.
She could have just sent her to some boarding school and been like, fuck off.
Exactly, like, if
But
she was
she's
just with her
working.
dad for the money and stuff, she would have fucking left you, bro.
But also, the lady works. She has a job and she works hard. And she's like, she always apologizes for not being around. So yeah, it was really a dumb movie. Like, I can't understand
weird.
who the protagonist of that movie was.
Allie, I guess?
Yeah, but, like, there wasn't as much focus. Like, I feel like the whole story was about Tyler and Bella Thorne. But then that would mean that the protagonist is Tyler.
But he wasn't he wasn't a... Sorry about that.
He wasn't... No, it's okay. But he wasn't,
a strong protagonist. He was this weak-ass pussy boy.
Yeah, it felt like they were going for the anti-hero thing towards Bella Thorne, but that really... The movie, it wasn't clear. Like, even the plot isn't clear. How would you explain it? Oh, this chick gets obsessed with this dude. After they fuck once, and because she has a whole history of, like, mental issues, she starts, like, stalking him. Yeah. If she didn't, that would be a lot more interesting, I will admit. If she just went crazy over this guy, I would be like, oh. Yeah. That's intriguing. That's an intriguing character. This, you have to be told... Hey, she's not just being random. She's insane. Yeah. You know? It's like, hey, we've got that she's insane, but like... Yeah.
We got that when she showed up at his house and started talking to his sister. Like, we got that, alright. I don't know.
It was not a good movie.
It was just like... It was just weird, like, it was trying to be something it couldn't have ever been, kind of, like, they wanted to do, like, this mystery thriller thing. Like,
it was, like, B-Tech Riverdale. And Riverdale is, like...
already the B-Tech version of something
Twin
else.
Peaks, you know?
Like, yeah.
Riverdale is essentially Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks.
Don't get me wrong, KJ Assoff, just me.
Speaking of Riverdale...
Oh my god, this was an unplanned segue.
Like, I just saw this morning and I was like...
We're getting into some celeb beef. We're gonna clickbait the shit out of this title.
Okay, so Elijah Daniel, like, he tweeted something about Riverdale, and as we know, like, Riverdale is not it's not an amazing show. It's not like a fucking...
I will admit, it's my guilty pleasure show.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's not like a...
It's not a good show.
I think they also tried to be kind of like Pretty Little Liars. And that wasn't like an amazing show either. Like,
it was like the love child of Pretty Little Liars and Twin Peaks. Like, they even said that they wanted it to be inspired of Now, inspired, I kind of understand. But the thing with Twin Peaks is... Sorry, I'm just going film nerd for a second. The thing with Twin Peaks is that it's made by an auteur. David Lynch has his own particular style of storytelling and filmmaking. It's so strong that even in the second season of Twin Peaks, when things started going weird and downhill, like, you could tell that you were like, this isn't Lynch. And I actually only recently, like last year or something, I found out that David Lynch didn't have any creative control over the second half, over most of, like, the second season, which made so much sense. And it just turned into this, like, weird, goofy show. But anyways, so they're just trying to rip off Twin Peaks in a way. Like, they were so inspired. They even had Matt Chanamick, who played, I don't know how to pronounce her name, who plays a main character in the Twin Peaks TV show, playing as Betty's mom.
Yeah.
And so yeah, sorry. Anyways, I just needed to go off on Riverdale. No. Continue.
So basically, Elijah Daniel tweeted, "Does the Riverdale fan base know the show sucks and don't care, or do they just not know?"
Which is, I mean, look, I watch Riverdale. I watched season 1, I've watched season 2, I've watched them several times.
We watch it because it sucks.
Yeah, and I will admit, Archie's hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so is Betty. Okay, so... One of us is straight, though.
Yeah. Guess which one?
Guess which one?
So, and then, KG Appa responded, and he said, "Do your fans know you're a fucking idiot, or do they just not care?" Which, okay. And then Elijah Daniel was like, "They know, they just don't care."
God bless Elijah Daniels, the writer of the Gay Bible. I have a PDF of it.
And the King of Hell, or the Mayor of Hell, or whatever the fuck.
Lil Fag.
Anyway, and then he tweets, I guess me and KJ aren't endgame. Slanted, like, emoji or whatever. And then, this girl, Ashley Marie?
Yeah, we don't even know who this bitch is.
I think she's from the Pussycat Dolls, like, the group.
You mean anyway, the Josie and the Pussycats? The
Josie
Pussycat Dolls is like Nicole Scherzinger and like, don't you
Josie and the Pussy. I think she's Josie. I think this one is Josie.
Really?
I think. I don't know. But anyway.
The Josie one has like a really round, cute face.
But anyway, I think, and then so she tweets him, like, lol, he's worried about a fan base when none of us know who he is. People recognize me from the back of my head. What do you do? Like, so sassy. And then, he replies, he quote tweets it, like, I had to Google who you were to even know you're on that show. And how are you bragging about how many fans you have when you have less followers than me? Like, sis, this is embarrassing.
Savage. Like, okay.
All I said was your show isn't that good anymore. Why are you all so mad I can't breathe?
That's so true, because he just said the show isn't good. Like, you could have let it go.
You could have been like, alright, that's your opinion.
Yeah.
Even if you don't
they're making unnecessary beef. Like, I don't think they've ever had beef with Elijah Daniel.
I don't
and
think
it's not like
beef
he's like
with anyone. Like,
yeah, and he's not like one of those YouTubers who makes like diss videos or whatever, and he doesn't make diss tracks.
Yeah, she's Josie. She's Josie. Okay.
Oh, she's Josie?
Yeah, she's Josie. Okay, right. And then he tweets a bunch of other stuff, and then she somehow tries to make it about race. Like,
oh my god, this was the most annoying part.
Like, I don't know how, like, I don't know, but, so she says, tweets KJ Appa, regular vernaculars. Tweets Black Girl, listen sis, nice try Eminem, nice try. And then he quote tweets that and says, I call everyone sis, are you really trying to make the word cis racist? I cannot.
And first of all, like, that's like gay talk. Gay people talk, like, I mean, not like all gay, but it's like stereotypical gay talk. Like, even like gay people who like, don't talk like this, listen, they will definitely agree.
Fucking James Charles, that's his brand, sisters. Like, that's
sister,
what
hey sisters!
He calls his whole fucking brother sister, like, you know.
And his brother does not like it. Like, I've seen the compilations, like, dude.
Brother.
But anyways, like, that's not, like, I wasn't, one of my friends, he added me to this, like, gay meme group on Facebook, which was kind of funny, but oh my god, there was so much drama. It was too much. I was like, you guys are like the most irrelevant, unfamous gay people to have walked this earth, and you're starting like intergroup drama. Like, what are you doing? Like, sis, stop.
I'm sorry, but can I just...
Yeah, no, go ahead. But I was just saying that it's like, it's gay talk, and hey, Elijah Daniel is a little fag. He's gay. Yeah. So...
Like, he says, like, why are you making cis racist? Like, I call everyone cis, whatever. And he says, also, why are you so mad? You're not even on the main cast of the show. I said I don't like. And then he says, I'm genuinely confused as to how me saying I don't like a TV show led to the entire cast subtweeting me, then calling me an idiot and a racist? Are y'all really that insecure about your show?
That's so funny. Like, really?
Nice try, Eminem is the next thank you next, which I love, but this Twitter beef is better.
What?
This Twitter beef is a better storyline than anything written in that show, and with less incest and gay baiting.
Oh! Snapped. That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Sis went off. Wig snatched. Hotel Trivago.
Oh man. Oh my god. Tea served. Hotel Trivago. Man,
and then Cole Sprouse tweets, what a nice day to ruin my mood with social media. I mean, mood.
Okay, but sorry, we just jumped from a movie to a TV show. We really need to like talk about Riverdale. You can't tell me that the actors and actresses in this movie, maybe they enjoy playing it, that I understand. How can they not be aware that it's so bad?
No, but also, like...
When they read the script, do they not think, this is a little fucking weird?
But also, like, it's an opinion. Like, you're grown-ass people. Why aren't you, like, why are you so pressed about this? Like, it's an opinion. I get it, it's not very nice. Like, you know, if someone, like, insults my work or whatever, I'll be like, okay, that's your opinion, but like I'm upset about it. You know what I mean?
Like you could have phrased it better.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Also, he didn't tweet it
calling
to
him
them.
a racist. No, he just said like in general, do people who like Riverdale actually know it's shit?
Yeah, and plus like the way he said it, everyone knows that like people who say it like this, it's just kind of like laughing and like.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, it's like mocking them, but it's just kind of like take it lightly.
Like, yeah, take it with a grain of salt. Like, and you're an adult. Like, just be like, okay, that's your opinion. Like, I'm upset about it, but that's your opinion.
Sorry, I vaped too hard.
Don't worry. Are you okay?
Yeah, just got cool mint all over my tonsils.
And then, okay, these last two tweets I need to, like...
Who are they by?
He said, Elijah Daniel. He says, I'm so famous people recognize my butthole. So, like, and then he says, don't want to start any more controversies, but I don't know, guys, I don't think Donald Trump is a good president.
I love him! Because he's saying, look how irrelevant this shit is.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, this is also an opinion, but because you agree with it, you're not gonna call me out for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's like, you know. But anyway, like, amazing. Elijah Daniel is
This was actually one of, like, the only times, like, I enjoyed Twitter beef. Because you can also tell that Elijah Daniel does not want it to, like, be, like,
he didn't want
beef.
Yeah, exactly.
They made it into beef. And he's just like, dude, just, like, stop. Like, I was just being funny.
Like, can you imagine, like, they're all... I mean, someone said in the comments, like, the Riverdale cast group chat is probably going insane right now. You know what I mean? But, like, imagine literally, like, did you see what this guy tweeted? Also, like, how did they find this tweet? Did someone, like, send it to them or whatever? Like... How did
do they follow him?
Because he wasn't, like, at Riverdale CW.
Yeah, he didn't do anything. Like,
No.
he just wrote it casually. Like, were they just looking to, like, find shit? Did they wanted to look at, like, Riverdale fan edits or something?
Yeah, you know, like, on Twitter, you can just search, like, Riverdale, like, without a hashtag or anything. Yeah, and you can see, like, the most popular tweets. Do they do that on a daily basis?
That's
like,
kind of sad.
Like, KG app is, like, afternoon, like, okay, let's see what people are saying.
See, this is the kind of thing that the writers should respond to, because they're the ones writing the show. They're the ones who are like, hey, bitch, what are you talking about? Not the actors, like, hey, it's got great writing. It doesn't. I'm really sorry, but it doesn't.
No, but the thing is, like, they didn't even say it's got great writing. They just said, like, one of them was just like, I'm more famous than you, fuck off. And the other one just said, do they know your shit? Do your fans know your shit? Like, you know what I mean? Like... You know?
Sure. Yeah, our fans may not know it, but your fans know it. Like,
yeah,
what? Like,
like this. Like, he didn't say like it's actually a good show, or he didn't say like it's your opinion, but like it sucks. Like your opinion sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he didn't say. He literally
just
said,
said, "Oh fuck you."
Yeah, exactly. Literally, do your fans know that you're a fucking idiot? Or
it's like when you get roasted in the 5th grade and you don't know how to respond.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh, haha, look, Sarah's flies down, and I'm like,
no,
well, your nose is ugly.
Literally, like your show is shit. What if I wanted to be shit, huh? Did you think about that? What if I made it shit, right? My acting made that shit, you know? Like...
Bro, I shit in your shit. But yeah, I don't know, Riverdale, like, you can't tell me that people genuinely, like, watch this and think, oh yes, this plot is... It's got so many plot holes. And you cannot tell me that this series feels like... It genuinely feels like they didn't know where the story was going.
Yeah,
and I feel like that was because
sketch. Like she knows like what she wants to do like vaguely.
Whoa,
and then
bro, don't say that about Lele Pons in comparison to Riverdale. She's much better. I'm joking.
Yeah, but, apologies, Lele Pons.
Sorry, Lele Pons, you're better than Riverdale. You're not hotter than any of them. But anyways, no, like it's got so many plot holes, and the writing, it feels like they're just doing it as they're making each episode. It really feels like they're going along, like, as if, like, they don't have the scripts, like, ready. Like, they don't have a general idea of the show. And they're just half-assing it. Like, I honestly felt like even the writers didn't know who killed Jason Blossom.
I think they just literally figured it... Like, I think same with Pretty Little Liars. Like,
yeah.
Like, spoiler, but, like, when we found out who fucking A was, that it was a fucking twin of one of the main characters. It's like you'll never guess who A is. Yeah, because we didn't know she existed
because we
until
didn't know this character
until the fucking last last episode. Literally until the finale, we didn't know this character existed. Of course, we'll never guess who A is.
Like, yeah, like for example, with Twin Peaks, David Lynch never wanted Laura Palmer's killer to be known. Like, and that was the thing. But the studio production company was pressuring him to, like, say who the killer is. They didn't want to say who the killer was. You know, like, the thing is that writing on the spot can work beautifully. Like, for example, David Lynch, in the first episode, one of the camera or one of the mic people is seen in a mirror. And they didn't notice it, like, in the editing, so they decided to use that. So this guy became Bob, which is, like, this evil thing person or whatever, and they wrote him into the thing. And it worked amazingly, like, you know, in terms of, like, David Lynch. Like, you can't just do that with anything. But it ended up working. And then, like, the reveal of who killed, like, Laura Palmer and stuff still, like, was good. Still, like, worked. But then after that, it just all started going downhill. Because David Lynch and Mark Frost just lost creative control over Twin Peaks. You know?
Exactly. Like, he made something that was a mistake initially into, like, something else.
Yeah, but, like, even, like, if he didn't know who Laura Palmer's killer was, but he still wrote the story around finding it.
Yeah.
And he did that so well. In Riverdale, it's just like they randomly, like, characters start becoming relevant.
Yeah.
Like, the only time you meet characters is when they become relevant. And that's like, you know, like, for example, we didn't meet Ethel until it was relevant. We didn't, like, meet, like, blah, blah, until... And then season 2 was a shit show. Did you watch season 2?
I don't think so.
Okay, one part of the storyline I thought was quite interesting.
Like, okay, it's the guy with, like, the hoodie.
The black hood, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It was interesting, but they didn't execute it well. And the reveal of it, and then, like, out of nowhere, he just stops. That's it, full stop, no more black hood. I don't know, it just turned into a shit show. Then they start talking about, like, drugs and jingle jangle, and then, like, there's the jingle jangles is the name of one of the drugs, and then they start talking about the serpents, and then Jughead.
Yeah, then Jughead goes to, like, some school just for serpents or something.
Yeah. It's really dumb. It is really, really dumb.
And then they have these, like, weird... The thing is, like, I don't know, who's the target audience for this show? Because, okay, it's, like, it's not the most, like, sophisticated show.
People, yeah.
And people and whatever. But then they have these, like, and it's, like, it seems, like, quite childish when you think about it. But then they have, like, these, like, sexual scenes and shit.
Yeah,
like,
and
dark
it's, like, fairly explicit and, like, you know, murder and...
Yeah, murder and stuff. And then, like, Veronica kissing, like, not Archie, but the other guy, what's his name?
Jughead?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, these, like, sexual, like, things, like...
Yeah, we see them, like, having... it's implied that they're having sex so much throughout the thing. I don't know.
No, and how she kisses this guy to make this guy jealous. Like, you know, what are you do? Like, who is this aimed at?
Yeah, honestly.
Like, because... like, maybe when I was, like, 14, I would have liked this, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would have thought, like, maybe, oh my god, this is so cool, look at teenagers.
Yeah.
And then you become a teenager and you're like, oh, social anxiety.
Like, yeah, and, like... I don't know, man. Like, it's not, like... It's just, like, for me, like, what makes it... Like, I'm just, like, it's a show. Like, do whatever you want. But, like, for me, what makes it worse is that the cast is just, like, so defensive. Like, I get it, you want to, like... Of course, like, it's not nice for anyone
to like, diss something that you do, but...
Yeah, exactly.
But he didn't target it at you. It was just his own tweet.
He
to
just
his
said, like,
followers.
Yeah, and he was just saying, like... It's shit. Like, I find it shit. It's my opinion. Like, he wasn't like, fuck KJ Apa.
He tweeted it to his followers. He didn't hashtag it. He didn't tag anyone.
Yeah, he didn't tag, like, Riverdale
Like,
CW,
he was just making, like, a funny post for himself. Like, these people found it and were like, hey, fuck you, man.
Yeah, like, I also, like... I also get upset when, like, as we said in one of our episodes, like, that when people don't like something I like,
yeah,
I get upset about it as well. But
like when they diss on it.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna be like, fuck you, dude. Do people know you're a piece of shit? You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
like, if someone approaches me and says, hey, your taste in movies sucks.
Yeah.
Then I'd be like, okay, dude, you want to start a fight? Because it just feels like the Riverdale cast now is trying to just start beef.
Yeah, I think maybe because they're like, oh, we're gonna be relevant, dude.
We're like the mecca of TV.
Dude, he's gonna, like, retweet us.
He's gonna retweet it. He's gonna follow us. He's gonna write a gay Bible about KJ Aba's pecs.
He's gonna know me from the back of my
Abba.
head.
Well, they know me by my asshole.
Literally.
People recognize me by my clit.
Like, what are you doing, dude? Okay.
Recognizing people by their clits. But yeah.
But anyway.
This was, we talked about Riverdale, we talked about...
Yeah, like, how can we even clickbait this title?
How do we
There's
clickbait
too
this?
many
Riverdale sucks! In all caps. So does Bella Thorne.
Riverdale, Bella Thorne, and the movie You Get Me suck.
Yeah.
Elijah Daniel is king. Okay.
Yeah, we'll hashtag it with long live Elijah Daniel. But,
yeah, so that's great.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys. How long have we been recording?
An hour.
Oh, damn!
Yeah.
That's nice. So thank you for listening, guys. This has
Yeah.
been OK Martini with
Sophia and Sarah.
and Sarah. I am Martini.
I'm okay, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, for another episode. Stay tuned.